Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the After Show here at WYCC.org. We're joined by Billy Deck, Mike Houlihan, and Laurence Msall. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We would be remiss not to mention Dawn Clark Netsch, who passed away this past week at age 86 of complications after Lou Gehrig disease. Now, she was the first woman to hold statewide public office as comptroller, the first female to be the Democratic nominee for governor, and she was also a very colorful person in Illinois politics. Laurence, what has the state lost this week?
We lost really one of the great leaders on fiscal matters, somebody who was a true trailblazer, as you pointed out, and someone who was an effective politician but didn't take herself too seriously. My favorite memories are her being at White Sox Park, sitting in the stands, enjoying a game, and also some of her campaign commercials. One of them, when she was running against Governor Edgar, she said, "I'm not just another pretty face." So she didn't take herself too seriously.
And she's also a very straight shooter her whole career, right?
I met her on an elevator once, and I was working for the state. You know, she signed this is when she was comptroller.
Right.
I said, "Hey, Dawn, I got your check today. Thanks a lot." Everybody looked at me like, "What?" She signs all the check. Nice lady.
She was, you know, one of the first women graduates of Northwestern University. She was at the Constitutional Convention in 1970 that set up really the state's Finance Act. She was someone that at the Civic Federation we often turn to for a historical and objective perspective. She will be greatly missed.
Another subject this week, the House panel in Springfield has approved a measure that would eventually legalize medical marijuana in Illinois. So what's your take on that, Billy?
You know, I don't know a ton about it, but I would like to learn what's going on in other areas of the country where it happens to be acceptable and thriving. I mean, where is that? Do you guys know? Is that just in California? California?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember going down the beach in California about a year ago, and I saw all the signage and the pop-up shops, and it was a little bit ugly, so I don't know how they would actually rein that in and control it. But if there are ways in which that they can sort of package this and control it, I can't ignore what doctors are saying, and I can't pretend to be in the place of those that are in pain. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm for it as long as it's sort of packaged in a way in which it's controllable and better than what I saw in California.
My brother had MS, and he said it was a big help, although it wasn't legal, but he said it was great, so I'm all for it.
I think you're seeing a trend, and just on the last election night, you saw in California, you mentioned Colorado, other places throughout the country, Ohio, that are looking at this and looking at expanding the use of it and allowing it for medical and other purposes.
It's already been decriminalized here, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
In Chicago. Just basically a ticket now. Right?
Exactly, and if you look at some of the history related to it, it's very interesting in terms of what was going on nationally and what the comparison is with alcohol and how that was treated differently and what the scientific background of the differences are.
We talk about state finances. Might this be a way to recover some money on the state's part by making this legal?
There's a potential. I mean, well, if they fully legalized it and they could tax it, and certainly we tax alcohol and we tax cigarettes to some of the highest levels in the country. The taxes on cigarettes alone, you know, represent more than 50% of the cost of a pack. So there is that potential if they went forward with it.
Add it to the $12 a pack cigarettes here in the city of Chicago, or at least in and around there. Am I?
You're in the range, depending on where you buy them, yes.
Wow.
Hey, Barbara, you know, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. I want to get a plug in for my film. It's going to have its world premiere Wednesday night at the Gene Siskel Film Center. I invite all you people to come see it, everybody out there.
And this film is about what?
It's called Our Irish Cousins. It's a love song and a Valentine to the Irish diaspora, and so please come and see it Wednesday night at the Gene Siskel Film Center.
And we've got the Southside Irish Parade coming
Sunday,
up.
yeah.
Are you going to keep that under control this year? That's
Yes,
up to you.
we've reformed it, yeah. Me and Skinny Sheehan.
Please do. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. You already said that.